Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 17th of December. So as we approach the end of the year and maybe even today we could get some balancing of books, etc. going through. We finished with the central banks now. 5 central banks reported this week. The Norwegian bank to start the week off. We've since had the Feds that have looked to tighten. We've had also Bank of England tightened unexpectedly yesterday, which created a bit of movement in the market, I could say. But once again, Bailey, the governor, leading us one way and doing the other thing. So probably not that favoured in the markets at the moment. Putting it down to unemployment or employment that the reason behind it. Anyway, and then of course the ECB coming out with the usual kick down the pitch there, or kick down the lane on the old can, but fractional changes. But actually, if you read through them, there's changes there which really allowed for more weakness. So anyway, we'll see how we progress, and then we can only trade what's in front of us now. Today we've got, in terms of risk events to come out, we've got very little. We've got the FOMC speak at 6 p.m. Won't be around for that today. There might be. Let me just check on here because this is a bit crafty at times. Did I say creepy? Probably thinking that. We've got a core bit of inflation coming out through Europe. That's all released individually, so that won't create much in the way of volatility. Bank of England quarterly bulletin. Ugh, that's what they think of that. That used to be a red. Anyway, we probably heard of what we're going to hear from them anyway. So little there to be looking at. In fact, whilst I was there, let's just go back a step and look at what's happening with the yields. If I can, it's going to take a few seconds. Never work with technology and children. Don't involve them in anything, or animals, is it? Whenever I asked my daughter to speak, she would not speak on the mic, so there we go. Where are we? Young George, my son, used to. Okay, yields pretty modest at the moment, so not creating any dollar hope there. Okay, let's have a look at the technicals then. Well, I was surprised and not surprised at the rally that ran through following the Fed meeting into yesterday, and continued through into yesterday on the euro. But have we got some horizontal resistance? Well, I don't know, but maybe stuck there. It did run just short of its 4-hourly 200 yesterday, so it looked a little bit soft. Had broken out both sides of this wedge that it was sitting in, making things even more complex and for traders. But realistically, fundamentally, not a lot's changed in the European situation, or there is some tightening in the US situation. Personally, I'm sitting there in a short position on the euro at the moment. I might get stopped out, but and we might find some further support from this little trend line I've drawn here. It seems we was going through sort of high lows, higher highs. It's a bit bitty. We'd put that big high in and never really gone past it now through the Asian session, but so it's got itself a little bit bitty. From here, well, as I say, break of that trend, it could be coming down towards its daily S1. Lots of support on the way, always when you get this sort of price, the price is back above the key moving averages. So we've got the 34.50, 200 all sitting there to give support, first touches on a lot of occasions. So euro could continue the downside. I could be completely wrong, and it sort of finds some grip here. As I say, really hasn't yet confirmed any lower highs, so it's a step in a bit early maybe. The pound. Well, the pound, I thought more positive data really. We've seen this sort of push out here. Yesterday, it was a key reversal day really. The day before, bullish continuation, key reversal, whatever it may have been. Anyway, pushing up at the moment. There is the potential for it to push on further. I'm just sort of looking here and thinking, well, if it starts breaking down some more as well, I think we could just go back to the sort of status quo of where it was most of the earlier part of the week in this chop zone, and whether or not it gets back there. That's what I'm looking at. A break of 3301-ish area, 3302 would give us a lower high on the pound and would look softer. So it's certainly started off looking a bit soft there for now at least. Dollar yen consolidating again. It's a few steps up. Yesterday it strengthened, but why and how it will stay there is another matter. I just think, well, we'll either end up in a chop zone or it will eventually soften back again. There's no real positive data coming from the Bank of Japan there, so if anything they will continue or to pump more money into the system. So it's hardly anything on the bullish side for the yen. Okay, Aussie dollar. Realistically, we knew that they weren't ever going to do too much with the yen. Aussie dollar, pushing up again yesterday, ran into its daily 500 arguably. Well, it did run into it, but pushed through it a little. But these markets aren't always absolute precision. Came short of its 4-hourly 200 there. Support until it's 21 at the moment. We've got on the bigger picture here, we've got the higher low showing there. Nothing much more than that, so that could just be holding. It could hold it around here. The commodities were holding earlier in the week better, pushing up. Okay, we had the spike down, but thereafter it had been pushing. Now, actually, as you come down to the 60-minute, it does look a little bit softer. Maybe a break below the lows here gives us on the shorter time frames a lower high, and maybe the signs of something more to come. A bit more dollar strength maybe. I'm a bit wary at this time of the morning. Sometimes it just will do a complete turnaround post 8 o'clock, as all these markets do. Canadian dollar strengthening against the US dollar here for a couple of days in a row there. I think the Canadian dollar had taken a much harder hit than possibly it should have. However, it is what it is, and it's been running up, high lows just and high highs. Not the clearest of markets since last week into this week. It's been softening. When I say softening, I know it's going up, but you've got to remember it's against the US dollar here, just to remind those that are watching this on the YouTube. To me, this is a consolidation around a bit of a low, and it looks like there's potential for it to roll over. It was showing on the slower time frames. It just sort of looks like it might continue its strengthening here. Certainly that's what it looks like at the moment. As I say, post 8 o'clock that might all change, but it is just looking like it's got the potential to continue rolling. Okay, that's the CAD. What else we got going on? New Zealand dollar. Just looking, it's very similar-ish. New Zealand dollar running into its daily 21, beg your pardon. Look at again, looking softer for that. I think we saw a bit of an overkill in terms of the dollar being sold, running through these markets yesterday, and it's getting its revenge at the moment. Lower highs, lower lows coming through. So, looking on the soft side at the moment. It has broken through most of its key moving averages there. It has been a bit softer than the others, has put lower highs in already on the hourlies, and maybe any little retracements could be an opportunity to be on the south side, short side. One side, okay. Just looking at euro yen, it's just also looking quite bearish at the moment. Horrible little bars there, but size that small little bar there, looking a bit choppy in the main, but there's not much more to say actually there. It's still on the chop side. Right, let's change markets if I can. It's taking some time. I've lost connection for a moment. Here we go, and we're back in there in gold. So gold's picked up. on the dailies yesterday, but bearish swing in there, and it's it's a bullish swing in there, and off it's heading at the moment. So money running into gold at this stage, safety sort of currency stroke commodity as it is. Money running into it, high lows. It's been pretty much a straight line. It's not had much of a retrace. Whether this will push on through beyond into next week, we'll see. But at the moment, it's certainly looking like it's got a bit of lick behind it, and maybe have more in the tank yet. Okay, that's gold. Oil. So oil continues in this tight old range, and for me it's become a bit untradeable at the moment. We saw it starting last week, again into a range bound. It's continued largely through this week. I've tended to leave it alone. I've sort of had a quick look, but not been drawn anything in, particularly with central banks kicking around. Just trying to make head or tail. It's put a lower high in the short term here. Looks like it's starting to get a bit of a pace to the upside again. It's being bid up at this stage, so not clear enough, but maybe a sort of a more bullish than bearish at the moment. A break above the 24.25 area certainly would be a bit more bullish, but at the moment I'm suspicious of it just getting too choppy. It needs to get back into a bit of a trend. Okay, for me to identify easier movements. Let's look elsewhere then. Let's just switch across. What time is it? 8:03. Good, we can go through these markets. So the CSI 300 sold off again through the Asian session, following through, as did the Nikkei there. Previous day pushed a gap up there. Gaps closed. Said to me, there's still, well, it's just a consolidation within its wedge, the Nikkei at the moment, and really, I say, leading or following is the question. FTSE this morning up a tad. It had a good solid day yesterday, regardless of interest rate increases. Certainly didn't. Normally we see equities being affected by them, but I guess they weren't massively bullish in terms of a program of interest rate increases being released, but at the same time it was relatively modest. I mean, the effect on the economy of that amount is probably slim-ish. DAX, well, just a consolidated mess at the moment. Yesterday it charged up for a while, but ended up with that horrible little doji sort of bar, and the CAC, it's pretty much, again yesterday it pushed up and spinning tops of the bar. Neither of them looking particularly bullish at where they're sitting at the moment, and it just could be positioning. It could be, oh goodness knows. I mean, perhaps next week we'll get a rally. The Christmas rally, Santa's rally, can it come in? So yesterday on the S&Ps it did push into a new high, just about, I think, and then sold off. It just hasn't got the legs to. Whereas before, when it was sort of, you look at it coming up here, making retrace it, make a high, consolidate, maybe push on. At the moment, what we've got is these reactive moves into these highs, which suggests that the sort of big money isn't really wanting to go with it. It's more of an exhausted move, effectively, what we're seeing here. And as I say, I still see it as weakness in the market. The 100 Nasdaq there. 100 Nasdaq, the US 100, or Nasdaq as we like to know it. Again, bearish old bar yesterday, full body engulfment there of the previous day, giving up more than it gained, and looking iffy. Dow Jones, well, outperforming at the moment. It's been underperforming for a lot of time. Maybe the stocks that are sitting into that Dow Jones are just that little bit stronger compared to the peers, and well, at the moment pushing up. Are the others going to follow? Well, if anything, it didn't run into anywhere near its previous highs yesterday. Maybe some of the defense stocks that sit into the Dow Jones 30, some of the stocks that are sitting in there are just that bit stronger. Okay, let's have a look at crypto world. Bitcoin. Didn't like it yesterday. Continued to sell here. The more it consolidates around here, the more I think we could see a move back towards the maybe even the prior lows there, but certainly towards the trend line it's heading at the moment. Ethereum, again, same picture. They're not okay. Same picture but slightly stronger relatively to where it's been before. It's only sort of towards a 50% retrace rather a 61.8 or 786. It's just that sort of in a stronger position. Ripple, always slightly the softest. Okay, it's pushing up today just to prove me wrong, but overall in terms of positioning, it's taken out its September, October lows. They're already gone below those, so it has put in the bigger picture a lower high, and it's certainly not my favourite. Still, Ethereum looks the favoured one. If they start moving, of course, Bitcoin could take an absolute flyer to the upside if it was to get moving. But at the moment, as I say, it still all looks bearish to me. There we go. Nothing else here. We've got some South Africans in the room. Good morning to you. You're a few hours difference to us, but welcome. Okay. I'm going to call it a morning anyway. I'm going to switch off from here, so take care, and I will catch you soon. Take care. Bye for now. Catch you next week.